Kohen Gadol is not permitted to marry a widow. That's explicit in the Torah. Bein almona min erisin, min almona min asuin. It's not because she's not a virgin. Whether she's an almona from erisin, not only if she's fully married. Lo yises abogeres. According to the Tanakama, he's not permitted to marry a girl if she's 12 and a half and beyond. Well, even though she's a virgin. Why? Because the Gemara is going to say she has to be a full virgin. Full virgin. Rabbi Lezer, Reb Shimon, machshin bebogeres. Even a partial virgin, even though the besulim start deteriorating, she's still called a besula. Lo yisa smukas eitz. Let's say she had an accident and she had it ruptured, right? The besulim ruptured, even though she never had relations, she's not considered a besula. Taner Rabbana almona lo yikach. What does the Torah say? A Kohen Gadol is not permitted to marry a widow. Almona lo yikach. That's the pasuk. Bein almona min eresin, bein almona min asuim. So this is pshita. Why would I consider it different? It says almona, right? Almona means a widow. Howard, you with me? I see you have a very serious look on your face. Right? Almona, it simply means bein min eresin min asuim. No, madu se beleilef almona mitomar. Right? Almona, what was Tamar? Tamar was an almona min asuim. She's called an almona. Tamar, that was the daughter-in-law of Judah. And so over there, she was an almona. Almona means min asuim. She was fully married. Mal lahalu min asuim. Avkam min asuim. Kamash malon. No. Therefore, he has to tell us the brisa when it says almona means even min erisin, a Kohen Gadol is not permitted to marry. Samaris veim hochinami. But the Gemara says, how do you know that? Maybe factually, almona means only min asuim, not min erisin, like by Tamar. She was only after she was fully married that the Torah classified her as almona. The Gemara says, hochinami, dumi to grusha, because it says she's not permitted to marry an almona and grusha, a divorcee. A divorcee, there's no difference whether she's divorced after erisin or nesuin. So we're associating, because of the association, almona to grusha, just as grusha, there's no difference whether she's divorced after erisin. Almona, even if she's widowed after erisin, she's also not permitted to the Kohen Gadol. Dumi the grusha, ma grusha, bein min nesuin, bein min erisin. Right, there's no differentiation. Afamona bein min erisin, bein min nesuin. Also, the iser, the Torah violation for a Kohen Gadol, even if she's an almona min erisin. Good. V'lo yisis a bogeres. The Tanakama holds she's not permitted to marry a bogeres. That means even though she's a virgin, but she's not considered a full virgin after she's 12 and a half years old. Of course, from that time on, it starts deteriorating. Taner Rabbanan. It says, the Torah says, V'hu isha bivisuleho. Yikoch. It doesn't say, Hu isha bisuli yikach. Bisula is a virgin. Bisula. Bivsuleho is addressing the location. Yeah. Bisula is a virgin. Bisuleho is referring to actually the hymen itself. Right? So, and then there's an extra base, bivsuleho. In the bisulim. Right? Bivsuleho. So what is that? So the Tanakama says, Prat lebogeres. Shekololo bisuleo divrei Meir. Rameir says, the psulim, when it says bivsul, that means it has to be fully intact. As when she was born, it was fully developed. The Kohen Gadol can only marry her when it's fully intact. That's Rameir's position. So Rameir is the Tanakama. Rameir holds that a Kohen Gadol cannot marry a bogeres. Rabbi Lezer, Shimon, machshirin bebogeres. No, they're of the opinion, as the Mishnah says, Kohen Gadol could marry bogeres. So how does he explain the word bivsuleho? Reb Meir Sova Besula Afilu Mikzas Besulim. Reb Meir says, what is the meaning of Besula? Besula means a virgin. What does a virgin mean? Even though it means even if they're not fully intact, right? So if the Torah doesn't say it adds Bivsuleos, it means it's more than Besula. So what's more than Besula? Means full. That means up to Bogeres. So he says, so what's Besuleho? What does that come to add? Adika Kolab Besulim. What's bivisuleho? What does that come? Bivisuleho. Bechadar kein shlo bedar kolo. Normally we say a man who has what's it called? An unnatural act with a woman. Let's say a man commits adultery. Unnaturally, it's called adultery. Correct? So if that's the case, what does the Torah have to say? The extra base, bivsuleho, to identify the location. Evidently, it's to tell me when does she become disqualified for a Kohen Gadol? That's only if it's kedarko. It's a natural act. Meaning, he penetrates her. But if he does it unnaturally to her, she has relations with a man unnaturally, right? Lo, she's permitted. She's still called a full basula. So if somebody did an unnatural act with a girl before she was 12 and a half years old, that girl is permitted to what? Is permitted to the Kohen Gadol. Rabbi Elazar Shimon said no. Sava besula shlema mashma. What does the word besula mean? A full virgin. So what does besuleho mean? They say I feel mixes besule. It means even though she's not full. So what's the extra? Bib suleho. Achu ko besule kayomi. Bein kedarka, bein shlo kedarka. So over here, Rashi explains. Vega. Yeah, he says, "Haviksiv besula shlema masha umitzura bogeris. Hashtiksiv besula afil mixes besula mashma l'rabas bogeris. Bivsula beisiser mashma shetei bivsula shlo ovdim ham klum aydei bilo. Bein kedarka, bein shlo yitikarka. Right? Became this Rabbi bogeres latero. Bogeres is latera. So what does the extra base come to add? Lisura. Right? That's what's coming to add. That even though in regard to Besulim, the Torah is lenient, where she's a partial Besula. But nevertheless, in regard to Shlokadarka, that actually disqualifies. You know, it's interesting. The Gemara will discuss this in a minute. Before we had a discussion, what is considered Bia? Remember, is it Neshika Sever, touching, or is it partial penetration? But let's say it's Neshika. The Psulim are fully intact, right? Because the Gemara is going to discuss a case where a man rapes a woman. Rapes a woman. So it says if he's a Kohen Gadol, he's not permitted to whatever is to marry her, right? And there's a mitzvah, the rapist has to marry the Losi Elisha. Doesn't apply because he's a Kohen Gadol, he can't, right? But let's say he did. We're talking about the Kohen Gadol raped a woman. He himself raped a woman. Right, he can't because she's not a psula, right? But let's say you only do haro. So if that's the case, well, why not? So you tell because she's a bula, right? So what if she's a bula? But we'll discuss in a moment. We'll see this in a moment. Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Rav Niva lo shlo kedarka. Rav Yehuda says name of Rav, a woman has an unnatural act, psula lakuna. Rashi says being a Kohen Gadol. A woman has an unnatural act with someone else. The Kohen Gadol cannot marry her, right? No, why not? Why not? She's a single woman. Okay? Rashi the Kohen Gadol shemitzuva ala psula, ava lehedjit afilu b'chedarka k'sheira, right? Because he doesn't have to marry a virgin. Vein zone ella nevelis loselo. She's not defiled because that's only if it's a forbidden relationship, right? Let's say a mamzer would have relations, a goy would have relations with her. But two Jews, even though they're not married, that doesn't defile her. Okay? So Rav says, even if it's an unnatural act where the psulim are fully intact, she's already, for a Kohen Gadol, she's disqualified. Mosif Rava says in the Baraisa, Velosi Elisha, if a man rapes a woman, he has an obligation to marry her. Right? The rapist, if she's agreeable. Isha Ru'yalo, it says, Losi Elisha means a woman who is permitted to marry. I mean, so what does that do? Kohen Gadol. So let's say the Kohen Gadol goes and rapes a woman. He's not permitted to marry her because it's a woman who's permitted to marry. But if he raped her, so she's not a psula any longer, right? Prat la'almona l'Kohen Gadol. Wait a second. No, which means he rapes an almona. The Kohen Gadol rapes an almona. Regular case, he rapes an almona. Almona min ersin. Almona min ersin. He's not. Wait. That's what we're saying. Isha ru'yalo. So if he goes and rapes a woman who's a widow from ersin, so she's a full psula, but she's an almona. So she's not a woman he's permitted to marry. Therefore, even though he raped her, he's not able to marry her. What about if ordinary Kohen rapes a grusha? Right? No, Minan Suin. A regular Kohen is permitted to marry a bula. Right? He's permitted to marry a bula. Oh, the Kohen Gadol you need, right? So what's the halacha? Grush chalutz Kohen hedgit. Also not. Hechi dami. Right, what's the case? We say, Almona, l'Kohen Gadol, ilem b'chedarka. If we're saying she's a woman where it was kedarka, which means the Kohen Gadol, when he raped her, he did a natural act. You got it? Okay. What do you tell me the reason why he's not permitted to marry her? Right? A Kohen Gadol is only permitted to marry who? A B'sula. So if he rapes her, so now when he's marrying her, what is she? She's not a B'sula any longer. So what do you tell me? Because she's an almana, say she's not eligible for him because she's a bula. What do you have to come on? Because she has a label called almana. Without almana. Elalab, so evidently what it must be. What's the chiddush? Shlokedarka. Factually, he did an unnatural. He raped her with doing an unnatural act to her. So that means she's fully a b'sula. So what's the reason why he can't marry her? Because she's an almana, right? So this is what? Rab says, even an unnatural act, she has a halacha of a bula, right? So it refutes her according to Brisa, right? He did an unnatural act, and we say, why can't he marry her? Because she's an almana. According to Rab, he shouldn't be able to marry her because she's a bula. And once she's a bula, we don't have to talk about almana any longer, right? Bula means she had relations. She's not a b'sula any longer. Sexual relations. So we're saying, Rab says a man who does an unnatural act with a woman, even though physically she's still a virgin, she's not considered a virgin any longer because she had a sexual act with a man. Okay? So, and it says, we have a brisa that says, if a Kohen Gadol rapes an almana, he has no obligation to marry because it's only when he's permitted to marry. So we're asking, if you raped a natural act, what do you tell him he can't marry because she's an almana? He can't marry because she's a bula, right? She had sexual relations. Evidently, what must we say? He raped her unnaturally. He did an unnatural act with her. So if that's the case, why can't he marry her? It says in the Bible, because she's an almana. But if, according to Rab, whether it's natural or unnatural, we'd see her as if she had sexual relations with a man. So what do you tell me? Almana, the reason why he's not permitted to marry her is because she's a bula. She had relations with a man. So we see over here that a woman who had an unnatural act, she's permitted to a Kohen Gadol. She's still called a b'sula, even after doing an unnatural act. Okay? Where she wasn't agreeable. She wasn't agreeable. It's a rape. It's irrelevant what his intent is. A woman has to consent. Right, even something else. Some more answers. How many Reb Meir? That this price is going to Reb Meir. Yeah. So what do we say in Amud Aleph? B'Suleh comes to tell me that B'Yeh Shlo Kedarka is what? Is Muteris. So Rav is going like Rabbi Elazar and Reb Shimon. Correct? Rabbi Elazar and Reb Shimon said B'Yeh Shlo Kedarka disqualifies her for a Kohen Gadol. This Brisa was saying the only reason why she can't marry him is because she's an almana, is going like Reb Meir. Because Reb Meir says in unnatural act she's considered a B'sula. Samar says, Rav Diyoma Reb Elazar. Samar says, Ik Reb Elazar, Ma'yir Mishum B'ula, Tepeli Mishum Dizona. We'll see, Reb Elazar holds that even two single people have relations together, the woman's considered defiled. So if he raped her, that means they're both Jewish. Even then, that we don't rule like Reb Elazar. We don't rule this way. But we're going, Reb Elazar holds that even two Jewish people have an act, but if it's not within the context of marriage, she's defiled. She's a zona. So what do you have to tell me? What she's raped is definitely, it's considered a legitimate. The act is not a permitted act. So what do you tell me? Because she's an almana. Well, she is a zona. If she's not Jewish, everybody agrees she's a zona. Unless I'm on the polik. We're saying even though it's a permitted act, here it's not because they're not married. Okay, Ponei Abal Pnuya we rule is not a zona. Rabbi Elazar says Ponei Abal Pnuya is a zona. Okay, it's not relevant. She's not Jewish. I mean, there's no such thing. What you invalid, you defile her. She's not Jewish. No, it doesn't impact on him. He sinned. I mean, it doesn't detract from his kuna. He's a Kohen. Okay, so Ma'yir Mishum B'ula typically Davidizona Domer Reb Elazar Ponei Abal Apnuya Shelo L'Shem Ishus. It wasn't within the context of marriage, just have a sexual act. Osazona. Amar Reb Elazar, Amar Rav Yosef. You know what the case of Halmon is speaking about? Amar Rav Yosef Gon Shnivalo LeBehema. Gon Shnivalo LeBehema. Shlokadarka. She had relations with an animal, Shlokadarka. Yeah? The Hasam Mishum Bu'ula. because we had a problem. How could Rav say she's the father? We said, well, that's going like Rameir. We're going like Rameir. According to Rameir, it's not a problem. According to Reb Elazar, it is a problem. But what does it speak about? She had relations, shlo kedarka, with an animal. She's not a zona, because a zona, only a human being can make somebody into a defiled woman. Although the act is not, it has to be a sexual act. Bestiality is not called a sexual act. It's called an abominable act, but it's not called a sexual act. Sexual act is only between two human beings. Okay? Okay? So therefore, bula she is, right? Someone says, why? We're talking about it was done unnaturally. So if it was unnatural, if she's not called a zona, so why is she called the bula? Shlo kedarka means because it was a sexual act done unnaturally. It's like a natural act. So it says, right? Right? She's not a bula. Can't go. She never mishum bula iko mishum zona leko. Omla abai manavshach. I bula havyo zona nami havyo. Zona lo havyo bula nami lo havyo. V'chi tema midi de havyo amuka seitz shlo kedarko. Right? So what is it? It's like mukas eitz shlo kedarka. We'll see in a moment. What's mukas eitz? A woman has an injury and she loses her virginity through an injury. Normally, let's say a woman goes and she cleans herself with a stone or with something which lacerates, and she lacerates her anus. We call that mukas eitz, right? Of course not. No, shlo kedarka is one thing if it's a sexual act, but mukas eitz, if it's the location of the shlo kedarka, we're not going to equate that to be shlo kedarka, right? That's what he says. Maybe you say the animal is no worse than the mukas eitz. Shlo kedarka ein locha isha shkshera lakuna. Shlo nasis mukas eitz leitzror. I mean, if a woman goes, she cleans herself with a stone, she's touching that area. You're going to say that's called an unnatural act? Well, you say, well, if you do it in the front and she ruptures the basulim, she's no longer a virgin. So if you do it, she cleanses herself, and she touches that, she's also. That means, so which woman is ever permitted to a Kohen Gadol? There's no woman. Because every woman, she cleans herself after she does a bodily function. We're talking about the marriage originally was the marriage of a minor. Right? What's the reason why Ponei Abol Pnuya, according to Rebbe Elazar, is she a zona? Because it was a illicit act. But let's say the mother or the brothers marry her off. And then afterwards, subsequently, it's a rabbinic marriage. Right. The husband has relations with her. Okay? Shlo kedarka. Right? And meaning not natural. So she's still a virgin. Physically, she's a virgin. And then afterwards, before she becomes adult, she says to the husband, a guten tag, I'm out of here. Right? I'm going to eat sweetbreads, okay, Howard? Good. On the age of 12, before the age of 12, right? So now, retroactively, it's as if she was never married. But when she had relations with this man, they were permitted relations. It wasn't just an illicit act, right? So therefore, she's not a zona. So that's what we're talking about. We're speaking about, now, Kohen Gadol goes and rapes this girl who originally was married rabbinically, who had relations with her husband unnaturally, and now the Kohen rapes her. Right? So it says in the Brisa, he's not permitted to marry her because she's an almana. Right? She's an almana because the act that she had was what? Right? I mean, the Kohen Gadol did something. The Kohen Gadol now rapes her. Rapes her shelo kedarka. No? No, that I hear. Yeah. And she leaves. Yeah, but we're saying, no, I understand that. No, good. Right. Right? A woman who brought an animal upon herself is permitted to a Kohen. Yeah? Listen to the story. Because we say it's not a sexual act. She's not a zona. We're talking about it had to be it's an unnatural act. Correct? An unnatural act is not called a sexual act. If it's done with an animal. With a human being, it's called a sexual act. Hello? A married woman has relations with an animal. Okay, good. You're with me. Tanya Nami Hochi. We have a brisa that supports Rav Sim Bar Chio. Nivelo Mishe'eno Wish. Hear this? A woman has relations with a non-human being. Ava Bishibeskilo. Yeah? Where a woman has relations with an animal. What is she? She's deserving the death penalty. Bestiality. But nevertheless, she's permitted to a Kohen. Ksheira Lakuna. Api Shebeskilo. Ksheira Lakuna. Even though the sin is so extreme that she deserves to be stoned, but nevertheless she's permitted to a Kohen. Right? Because it's not a sexual act. An animal, it's an abominable act, but it's not a sexual act. Kiyoser Avdimi Omer. So when Avdimi came, he told over a story. Masabri Ba'achas, there was a story with a maiden. Achas Bihitolo. Name of the community was Hitolo. Shahoisim Mechabedes es Abayis. Hear this? She was sweeping. V'rova Kelev Kufri. Me'achreo. She was attacked by this large dog, and the dog penetrated her unnaturally. Did an unnatural act with this woman. V'chshiru Rebbe Lakuna. And Rebbe permitted her to the kuna. She's not, yeah? Omar Shmuel. Ula Kohen Gadol me, Rebbe. So he said, meaning she's permitted to a Kohen Gadol. So Rebbe lived a few generations after the Churban Abayis. Right? So if Rebbe lived after the Churban Abayis, so what do you mean permitted to a Kohen Gadol? There's no such thing as Kohen Gadol. Right? This is Gemara's question. Yeah? So Gemara says, Ula Kohen Gadol be me, Rebbe. May Rebbe Kohen Gadol me have Elo Ru'uyel Kohen Gadol. Means even though she was raped by the dog, but did an unnatural act, since an unnatural act is not called a sexual act, so if we would have a Beis HaMikdash, this woman would be qualified to marry, fit to marry Kohen Gadol. Doesn't mean factually there's no Kohen Gadol, because Rebbe was after the Churban Abayis. Go ahead. No. The Torah says even regular ones, like a regular one is not permitted to marry a grusha, a divorcee is not permitted to marry a zona. Techalolim. No, yeah, it's like chavi lavim, it's a lav. Right, it's like a person marries a mamzeris. It's not permitted. They have a child, the child's a mamzer. Howard, you with us? Cholo. Let's first say the child's not a Kohen. So if it's a girl, the girl cannot marry a Kohen. Right. But if it's a boy, he's like a regular Yisrael. Okay. Amalei Rava Mipirkon. 1 second. There we go. Yeah. Umipirukya. Yes. Umipirukya. Rava Mipirukya. The Ravashi. Menoha Milso. How does he know? From the answer of Ravashi. Rashi says, speaking about she brought an animal, did an unnatural act with her. Right? What do you have over there? Ravashi. 1 second. Yeah, 1 second. What was the story? But it was Kiyosa Rovin said it. No. Rav Simbarach, Nivel Abemi, Tanya Miyochi, Nivel Skilo. Kiyosa Rovdim, Maisabri Ba'achas. What's the Ravashi? Amalei Rav Perkil the Ravashi. Menohamil says, how do we know it? How do we know that an animal is not classified? Although physically it's a sexual act, how do we know we don't classify an animal, bestiality, as a sexual act? How do we know this? It says in Torah, Losovi esnen zono mechir kelev. Yeah, you know what that means? If a man goes and he has a relationship with his mother, and his mother says, I'll have relations with you, commit incest, but you have to give me as payment a sheep. So that sheep, because it was given for the sexual payment, is not valid for a korban. No. It's panei abola pnuya. No, it's not. What? No, it's not. It's not. It's not. Let's make it simple. It's not simple. La halacha, that's what it has to be a forbidden relationship, like incestual relationship. The raisa. Okay. So that's called essence. So what is mechir kelev? Let's say I have a sheep. You have a dog. I say no. I like your dog. I'll give you 3 sheep for your dog. Because it's a special dog. I give 3 sheep. Every one of those sheep cannot be brought as a korban. Because since they were in exchange for a dog, it's not appropriate to bring it as a korban. So even if you consecrate those sheep afterwards, those sheep cannot be brought as a korban. Because it's an exchange. An exchange for no. If it's an exchange for a lion, it's specifically mechir kelev. It has to be a dog. Okay? It's low, whatever it is. It's like despicable. Right. Specifically a dog. Mechir kelev. Okay? Utanan esnan kelev. And what does Torah say? Esnan kelev. What about if you invert it? A person was really a pervert. He says, I'll give you a payment if you could have relations with my dog. If you have me left, right? Umechir zona. A person exchanges a zona for an animal. Mutarin. Right? So the question is, but if you tell me the payment for a sexual act is disqualified, so why a payment to have relation with a dog, why isn't it disqualified? The answer is because it's not called a sexual act. Shnema gam shneim, it says gam shneim. Both of these are not qualified for a korban. Shneim below arba. 2 and not 4. But if you tell me even the animal is called a sexual act, even if they're inverted, it should be considered disqualified. You got it? So you see clearly that an act, a sexual act with an animal, is not qualified as a sexual act. What's difficult?
It flies in the face
of what?
Of everything.
What is flying in the face of anything?
It's perversion.
Perversion is not a sexual act.
Yeah, okay.
So we're proving from here it's not that it's esnan zone only. It's not esnan dehema. It's not esnan kelev. Turn it up. No, but let's say a person exchanges an animal for a zona, a prostitute. The person wants this woman. Just for the one exchange, like you exchange something with the dog, the animal. No, for exchange for a zona, you could use it. Torah doesn't speak about that. Not payment to have the act. A person has a whatever, and you exchange. Right? Person for animal. Like exchange the sheep for the dog, person exchanges a person for an animal. Right? Let's say you have a person has a canonic maidservant. He says, I'll give you my maidservant. Give me a sheep. Is that sheep valid? It's valid. But it's an exchange for and she's a zona. This shifcha. She's a zona. But it's not called an exchange. Because the exchange is only for a dog. That you could use. You could use that. So the same thing. And we said, what about if he says, here's payment that I should be able to have relations with your dog? It's also permitted. Why is it permitted? Because Torah says esnan zona. So you see from here that a sexual act with an animal is not called a sexual act. It's called a perversion, but it's not a sexual act. Okay, further. It means a harlot, but it means doesn't mean one. Okay.
It's the same term. There's no
Right.
They're equating, obviously.
Yeah. But with an animal, sexual with an animal is not called a harlot. It's not simple. No, I understand that. Tan Rabbanon. Anusas atzmo, mufutas atzmo. Hear this. This is contrary to the more nominal we've seen. A person goes and he rapes a woman. Right. Or he seduces a woman. Right. So after he rapes her, he seduces, she's a bula. She's not a virgin any longer.
Right.
Good. Lo yisa. He's not permitted to marry her. Vim nosui nosui. If he marries her, we'll see what that means. We allow him to remain married. We allow him to remain married. You got it? Even though when he marries her, she's not a psula, but since he's the one who caused her not to be a psula, we allow him to remain married. He shouldn't, but if he marries, he could remain married. Yeah. Forget about Knas. No, we just had an Amman Aleph. This is contrary to what the Gemara said in Amman Aleph. We just quoted a brisa, a Kohen Gadol who goes and rapes an almana. So it says what? That he cannot marry because she has to be qualified to marry him. So Gemara says, what are we speaking about? If he had a natural act, what do you tell him? Because she's an almana, she's a bula. Over there, what I'm talking about, it's bula satzmo. So from that brisa, from that question, you see bula satzmo is what? Even though he's not permitted to marry her, even post facto. According, there's a brisa. Well, there the Gemara is talking. We'll see in a moment. So it says if he marries. What about if it's anusas chavero befutas chavero? What about if somebody else raped her or somebody else seduced her? She was never married. She was raped or seduced by another man. Lo yiso vimnoso. What about if he did? Reb Lezer ben Yaakov Omer Havlad Cholo. She, right? The child's a cholo because he's not permitted, because she's not a psula, right? If he's the one who caused her not to be a psula, if he married, he can remain married. The child's not a cholo. But if it's somebody else who caused it not to become a virgin, chama omrim havlad kosher. You hear this? The vlad's kosher, meaning we'll see in a moment. But even though he married a woman that's not permitted to him, meaning he's not permitted to stay with her. But the child's not a chol, because the Gemara's going to show later, it's only an isser aseh. It's only an aseh, it's not a los aseh. Right? If a Kohen Gadol marries a grusha or a zona, that's a los aseh. Los aseh, it's cholo. What about it's only an aseh? He violated an aseh. It says a positive commitment. A virgin. Then, not as good, the child's not a cholo. It's only a cholo if the prohibition is negative. If it's a positive, then the child's not. That the Gemara is going to explain in the next Talmud. Okay, let's see this. No, that's the argument. That's the argument. According to Rebbe Lezer ben Yaakov, he says no, doesn't make a difference as long as it's forbidden to a kohen. It's a cholo. Asay los asay. Chum say no. The vlad's kosher. Since it's only an asay, the child's kosher. Child's not a cholo. Now it says in the brisa im nosi nosi. If he goes and marries the woman who he had raped or seduced, he shouldn't marry. But if he marries, he remains married. Right? Omer Afun Omer Rav, umotzi beget. Hear that? Im nosi means the marriage is effective, but he has to divorce her. He's not permitted to be with her. 1 second. Elo hodiktoni im nosa nosui. Elo hodiktoni im nosa nosui. Yeah, but it seems to be he's permitted to remain with her. Omer Rav Bar Yaakov Lomar, Shem Mishalim Knas Mefuta. That's what it means. It means that if he's married, factually he has to divorce her. What does it mean? But we see as the married, meaning a person he's married to his own wife, does he pay penalty? He doesn't pay penalty. Right. But factually he has to divorce her. Why? Because factually she's not a virgin. Right. Also Rav Gvia Mebeik Sil. Rav Gvia, the name of the Amora, who came from Beik Sil, this name of the place. Omer L'Shmaitz Kami de Ravashi. He said this over. He said what? Rav had said, Rafu said the name of Rav to Ravashi, that although it says if he marries the woman he raped or seduced, he's married to her, but he has to divorce her. That's what he said over in the name of Rav. He said this to Ravashi. Someone asked a question. Omar Lev or Rav Rabbi Yochanan Amitavai Bogeres Umukas Eitz Lo Yiso. It says a Kohen Gadol should not marry a Bogeres or Mukas Eitz. Vim Nosi Nosi, but if he marries either of them, it's what? It's valid. Alma, what's the reason? Because Sofa Lios Bogeres Tachtov. Because ultimately, let's say a Kohen Gadol does Ersin on a girl when she's 12, and the Nisuin is a year later. We allow it because ultimately that's natural. That's a natural progression. If he's already involved with her, because it's going to happen naturally. Mukas Eitz, it's inevitable. It's going to happen. It happens. He's permitted. Alma Sofa Lios Bogeres Tachtov, Sofa Lios Mukas Eitz Tachtov, Hochanam Sofa Lios Bula Tachtov. How did she lose her virginity? He did it. So since he himself is the cause of it, therefore, why is it any different? Even though I don't hear the comparison. The first case is speaking about, right? There he's married to Erisin, and subsequently she becomes a Bulgaris before he does the Nisuin. So we say because that's the natural, that's natural. It's just a question of time before it happens. Accident, it's inevitable. A woman has an accident, some type of injury. But over here with this man, he's not involved with her. I mean, the Mishnah says, let's say according to Rameir. Rameir holds that what? That a Kohen Gadol is not permitted to marry a Bulgaris. Oh, we're going to use this rationale. He's not permitted to marry. Well, that's what if he already married her. He has Ersin. Right? I don't understand. We rule like Rameir. He's not permitted to marry Bulgaris because she has to be a full virgin. Bulgaris is not a full virgin. So what does he say over there? Seems to be different. I don't hear the comparison.
If he's married previously, it's okay.
Yeah. Here we're talking about a man goes and rapes a woman. So even if so, what if he's the cause? He's the cause. But factually, when he raped her, he had no connection to her.
What's the trouble in some ways is that here it equates whether she was seduced or raped. Even though she's over the essay, I thought Daf Yomi says she's over the essay, or he said all over the Ola.
Yeah, but he's bringing me a proof. He's bringing me a proof from Bulgaris and Mukasaitz. No. Yeah, but those two cases that he's citing are not comparable to this. You understand? Factually, according to Rameir in the Mishnah, who we rule like Rameir, is a Kohen Gadol permitted to marry a Bulgaris? The answer is no. Though we can say, but is it any worse than his own? Than his own? That if he'd been married to her, she becomes a Bulgaris, you can tell me he's not permitted to her. I mean, what kind of comparison? It's not comparison. They're not comparable. What does he say in the other one? What does he say, Howard? No, that I don't need. Later. The question that he's asking. No, that's good. Further.
So, going on, one cannot interpret the expression that if he married her, he is married, he's by Rav, but is merely meaning to the marriage service to exempt the Kohen Gadol from the seducer's fund. Going on, the Torah certainly does not demand that the Kohen Gadol divorce his wife immediately after the first act of conjugal relations. The preface, we must conclude that the Torah describes only the marriage for the Kohen Gadol with the woman lacking a total virginity, not their later relations. This is the covenant. Therefore, a Kohen Gadol who already married a bit unlawfully a Bulgaris or a girl, wounded by which may remain married to her.
Yeah, okay.
No.
You didn't explain anything. I mean, I read those words too.
Okay.
What does he say to Yossi? The Gemara says kasha. Factually, we rule. We rule like him. We rule like Rafun name of Rav. We rule motzi beget. He has to divorce her. Because I don't hear the comparison. I mean, the Gemara says kasha. I don't hear why it's so difficult. They're not comparable, the two cases. One case, a man marries a woman, she's a full virgin. Before he... Yeah, but those cases over there, he says, a woman, ultimately she's going to become a Bulgaris. Ultimately, it's never, what is one? But it's his wife. It's his wife already. Here initially he's marrying her. Here he's not his wife. He rapes her first, and now he wants to keep marry her and remain with her. But who did he marry? He married a woman he's not permitted to marry. There he married a woman who's permitted to marry. He married her, she was 12 years old. We set the wedding date for full marriage in a year from now. That means she's going to be 13. 13, she's already a full-blown, mature woman. She's not. She's a Bulgaris. Do we say it's okay? You know why? Because when initially he got involved, he married her. She wasn't a Bulgaris. No, but that's the we were going like Rameir. We're Rameir the Bulgaris. This statement is Bulgaris is not permitted to a Kohen Gadol. Not we don't hold like Rebbe Los or Rebbe Shimon. That's what we're talking about now. So it's no. Even Mina Erison, she's not permitted, according to Reb Meir. Bulgaris, Mina Erison. Oh, found, yeah. Right, yeah. But I'm trying to understand the question. Yes, but you didn't explain it. I'm trying to understand Rav Ashi's challenge. So what does he say?
The right will suggest that Rav committing a Kohen Gadol for a gay marriage to a wife who fled as Bulgaris, or after she was remarried, would be reconciled with his ruling that he must divorce the wife after he wed, after violating or seducing her as follows. Regardless of Bulgaris or a woman who would, the argument that she would in any event have become also while married to a Kohen Gadol logically implies for a woman who becomes a Bulgaris or was wounded by this before marriage is no more abased than one who is because of after marriage. But
that's what it said.
A woman violated or seduced by a Kohen Gadol, her having cohabited extramaritably in an absence that would not eventually ensure her conjugal relations with her husband. Such a woman stands for trial even in relation to every man who violated or seduced her as she would in relation to another man.
Okay.
It's like scratching your ear this way.
No, it's not scratching your ear this way.
You understand it? I don't understand what I just read.
I know. Okay, you read it again and again and again. What he's explaining exactly what I'm saying.
Okay.
They're not comparable. I'm trying to understand what the kashi is. The more says kasha. Kasha is it's answerable. I don't understand the question. They're not comparable. A man who's married to a woman, and before he consummates the marriage, he becomes a Bulgaris. Is that a problem? And he's a Kohen Gadol.
Yeah.
Why is it a problem? When he married her, who did he marry?
Okay.
She wasn't a Bulgaris yet. Subsequently, she becomes a Bulgaris. Therefore, what? Here, what about to marry a Bulgaris initially? You're not permitted to marry Bulgaris.
But before it, when she becomes, I understand that. So we had that before. Good. All right.
We didn't have that before.
So it should be something.
So therefore, what you're asking from is speaking where he entered into a permitted marriage.
Right.
Here, we're talking about he raped her as a single woman. He had nothing to do with her. Now we say, what about if he marries her now? Could he keep her? Rob says he cannot keep her. Because when he married, he wasn't permitted to marry her.
Right.
Here, when he married, he's permitted to marry her. Subsequently, she was injured. Subsequently, she became a Bulgaris.
So it should be okay.
That's why it's okay. That's why they're not comparable. Yeah. No, I hear that. But factually, we rule like, yeah, I hear it. But factually, we rule like Rav, that it's not permitted. So that means you could differentiate. Right? There is a difference. So what's the difference? The difference is what I'm saying, the difference. That's the difference. The case over there is speaking where he married her before she became a Bulgaris, before she became Bulgaris. So all this, the change of state happened after he was married to her. Here, the change started before they had a relationship. Before it was his wife. That's the reason why. If he marries, he has to divorce her. Very simple. Okay, further. That's what I'm saying. It's a shvach. It's a very weak question. Anusas chaver umfutas chaver lo yisur. We had it earlier. What if somebody else raped her or somebody else seduced her? It says you should not marry, and if he divorced her, Rabbi Lezer says ben Yaakov mehavlad cholo. Rabbi Lezer Yaakov says, we quoted before, the child is a cholo. Okay? Rega. Why? Because she's not a psula. Chum Omrim Havalat Kosher. Now, what's the basis of the argument? Factually, he married a woman that he was not permitted to. So why, according to Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov, is the child a chol? According to Chum, it's not a cholo. Omra Funa Marav Halocha, Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov, that the child is a cholo. Rav Huna says, name Rav, we rule like Rabbi Elazar. Chen Omar Rav Gidol Marav Halocha, Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov, even though the Chacham argue. Here, even though the Chacham argue. Ikad the Amri Omar Rav Huna Omar Rav, my time is the Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov. Why does Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov hold the child's a cholo? So look, Rabbi Elazar. Yeah, this. He holds like Rabbi Elazar that Ponei Aboa Pnuya, she's a zona. Yeah? That since the marriage, even though they're both single people, but since the marriage caused it to become a zona, right? Because even two single people have relations, she becomes defiled. Therefore, the child that's born from a defiled woman is a cholo. That's Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov's position. I mean, do we hold that? We don't hold that. Kaimelon Mishas Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov Enoki. Right? We rule like Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov, because he's like Kavanoki. His ruling is pure and clear, but yet we rule Ponei Aboa Penuya. It will say this is contingent on Ponei Aboa Penuya, that if single women are called, we don't rule this way. We don't rule like Rabbi Elazar. We rule like Rabbi Elazar that a man who has a child from somebody else's woman, rape victim, the child is cholo. We rule like that. And you tell me, what is it contingent on? Because she became a zona. Because Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov holds like Rabbi Elazar. But we don't rule this way. Even though we rule like Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov in regard to this, but two single women, people have a relationship together, she's not a zona. So now we have to say, what? She's not defiled. Two single women, a man and a woman who are permitted to one another. And they have an extramarital relationship. Is she a zona? We rule she's not a zona. Okay?
Neither one of those are married.
Neither single, both. He's single, she's single. Now they have a relationship. They have a sexual relationship. She's permitted to marry a Kohen. She's not a zona. Okay? Rabbi Elazar says she's a zona. We don't rule like Rabbi Elazar. So now we have Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov says that if a man goes and rapes a woman, they're both single. The child, now if a Kohen marries that woman, the child is a cholo. Right? If the Kohen Gadol marries her, the child's a cholo. So once, you know he's a cholo? Because she became a zona. Because Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov, Rabbi Elazar holds like Rabbi Elazar. Someone says, how can you say that? We don't rule like Rabbi Elazar. We rule like Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov. The child's a cholo. We rule that if two single people have relationships, she's not a zona. So why should the child be a cholo? That's the first question. Amarav ein aloch Rabbi Elazar. Amar says kasha. We don't understand why. It's unclear. Why, according to Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov, is the child a cholo? Rav Ashi Amar b'yesh cholo b'chai v'yesei. He answers it. You know what the argument is? Do you have a cholo from chai v'yesei? That a Kohen Gadol must marry a b'sula, it's not a negative commandment. It's a violation of a positive commandment. Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov saw v'yesh cholo b'chai v'yesei. Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov says you could have a cholo even from b'chai v'yesei. Does not be allowed. Rabbanot Tzari ein cholo b'chai v'yesei. My time to Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov. How does Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov? If you read the parsha, seemingly, the chsiv almono grusha v'chalola es eila lo yikoch. Now it says es eila, these you should not take. Then it says ki im besula me'am of yikoch. He should take a virgin. So when it says lo yikach, right? What is it going back on? Wait, uchsiv lo yichale. Then it says lo yikoch ki im besula. Then uchsiv lo yichale zaro ba'amov akulu. So what is it going? When it says lo yichale, it's going back on everything. It's going back not only on the lo saseh, it's going back even on the aseh. Right? Right? Because it says kim besula ba'amov yikoch. Rabbanon e lehifsik inyan. Right? Let's see, Beis. What's the Beis? The Pasuk? Right. 1 second. Amar grusha v'chalol zona es eila lo yikoch ki im sula. It says es eila. No. So then the lo yikach is going what? We're saying the psula is not the yikach. It was saying the v'lo yichal zaro. It does. What are you talking about? It is. Of course that's a cholov. A Kohen marries a Gerusha. Of course it's a cholov. We're saying it's going back on Kim Besulabam of Yikoch. It doesn't go on that. That's what it doesn't go on. Right? There you go. 1 second. Eila hifsiko yichsiv eila bosa chayvi lavim. Lashminan eila shim chayvi lavim chalukim mitin chayvi esei. It says eila. Almona grusha chalolo. It says eila lo yikoch. These. So what are these? What does that come to exclude? It comes to exclude besula, which is only an asay. That's the chachomim. Okay? Okay, go. Rabbi is elo yikoch kim sulach sivli chalzaro bam akul rabon elo hifsikoinian lezeb and Yaakov Omer elo lemute nida. Elo comes to exclude nida. What about he has relations with a nida, the Kohen? Does she become defiled? It's a forbidden relationship. Keman asloho detanyo me elo ato ose cholo viato ose cholo minido keman kareb lezeb and Yaakov. That means, you do make a cholov, right? If a Kohen Gadol has a child from a woman who's not a psula, the child's a cholov. That's what it says Eila. So what's Eila coming to exclude? It's coming to exclude neither. Okay? She didn't go to the mikveh and he has a child and she conceives from him. That child's not a cholov. Even if Elizabeth Yaakov agrees. Okay? Yaakov nichteve le'eila l'bsof. So if that's the case, why does it separate between the lav and the asay, Eileh, right? If you tell me Eileh doesn't come to exclude the mitzvahs asay, since you enumerate all those, including the asay, it says Eileh. And because Eileh is come to exclude something which is not discussed in the posuk. You have a question? What does the word Eileh mean? These, right? So if you say these, so the Chacham say these, the negative, and not the positive. Wait, so it's good. So the Eileh separates between Kim Sula Yikoch. But if you say no, according to Rabbi Lezman Yaakov, whatever's written in the pasuk is cholo. So and it's come to something that's not mentioned in the pasuk, which is neither. So if that's the case, why does Eila separate between the losa asay and the asay? Right? It's a good question. Kasha. This kasha I understand. Okay? Turn around. No, that's Tfisus Kedusha. That's Tfisus Kedusha, not for Cholov. No, so that can be the lumdus. That's the lumdus. That's the lumdus. That's the lumdus. But here we're talking about what does it come to exclude? I understand that. But that's the lumdus. Maybe it's derived from here. Because you see, it's not a Cholov. She doesn't become defiled. Okay, turn around, Bonan. Achoso Aruso. Yeah. Now, a person, the Torah says that a Kohen is permitted to contaminate to the 7 closest relatives, a brother or a sister, right? What about if a sister is fully married to a third party? She gets married, and then she dies. The brother is not permitted to contaminate her any longer. The Torah says the 7 relatives that a Kohen is permitted to contaminate him soon, right? His father, his mother, his children, his wife, brother, and sister. What happens if the sister is fully married? She gets married, fully married to a third party. His sister. She dies, he can't contaminate any longer. What about if she's only in Arusa? So she hasn't fully left the family. She's partially out. Could it contaminate her? That's the discussion now. Achosa Arusa. She's only in Arusa. Ramev Rebuda Omrim Mitamilo. Since she's not out of the family, right? So he can. Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Shimon Omrim, ein netami lo. Yeah, cannot. We rule like Rabbi Yosef and Rabbi Shimon, that he cannot contaminate. Why? Because she's called a married woman already. Anusa mefuta. What about if she was raped or seduced? Ein netami lo. What? Umugaseitz metami lo. Divrei Rabbi Shimon. Ein netami lo. Right? Everybody agrees. Everybody agrees not. What about if she had an injury? Eimatami lo. Divrei Reb Shimon. Shei Reb Shimon Omer. Rui l'kohen gadol metami lo. Shei rui l'kohen gadol eimatami lo. She has to be qualified to marry Kohen Gadol. If she's qualified to marry Kohen Gadol, then she can't. So therefore, even though she's an almona min ersin and arusa, she can't marry because let's say her husband should die. She's an almona. Ubogeres metamilo. Yeah, a bogeres he can't. Because this is going like who? This is going like Reb Elazar, Reb Shimon, not like Reb Meir. Ubogeres metamilo. Different kolodam. 1 second. Okay, we'll stop here.